Oops, sorry, my technology was just trying to fail me in the moment. I'm gonna give you guys lots of options for modifications, amplifications, because as always, if you are used to my classes, this is your practice. And if you're not so used to them and this is a first or a second sort of situation, then just know that everything out of my mouth is 100% an offering. So if it doesn't work for you for whatever reason, skip it, modify it, amplify it, do what you need to do. It's your body, and take care of it. That's the most important thing. Okay, so this space, this flow is really designed to be both grounding and expansive. So we're gonna ground down and we're gonna expand and we're gonna explore sort of that feeling of connection. And so I invite you guys to begin whenever you're ready for this nice, juicy first flow, post-hit flow of summer camp, to come onto a comfortable seat. So you can rest on shins, on blocks, on your booty, whatever is a comfortable seat for you is fine by me. And then once you find that comfortable seat on your mat, just go ahead and close down your eyes, or just soften the gaze. If closing the eyes feels really not right for you in this moment, you don't have to. You can rest your hands just simply on top of the thighs somewhere, or take one hand over the heart and one hand over the belly, just honoring that connection to your body, to your space. Maybe feeling the breath traveling through as it enters through the nostrils, makes its way in towards the chest, expands against the heart and into the belly. And then feeling that breath travel back out as the belly contracts. Feeling the throat calming, the heart calming, breath flowing easily in and out through the nose. So there's nothing super complicated about the breath. We're just trying to find some meaningful connection to it. Meaning we notice it, we acknowledge it, and maybe we pay a little bit of attention to it. But we don't have to fuss over it. So see if you can just find something that feels soothing. Deep inhales and exhales out through the nose. And challenge yourself maybe to find a little bit of length and space as you continue these breaths. And as we come here on our mats together and we find this breath, what brought us here today is connection. Today we're celebrating community. Community is that space that continuously inspires us, moves us, changes us. It's that place we call home. And sometimes community is there for us even when we're not aware of it, even when we're not physically in the same room. And I think this day, this whole week of summer camp is about remembering that, what that community space is. So today, let's ground down in our bodies, on our spaces, so that we can feel a little more connected to ourselves. And let's also expand, so that we can feel more open through our hearts. We can make space for more people, our community. And let's breathe deeply and with intention so that we can come back home. We can connect to ourselves. We can connect to our mind, our body, our soul. And just give ourselves this space to flow freely. Use this collective energy, even through a screen, to challenge ourselves in ways that feel nourishing. And find acceptance for the things that maybe aren't working. or find acceptance for the things where maybe we find struggle. And instead of fighting that struggle or sort of pushing through or sort of resisting against it, instead just accepting and embracing those feelings and allowing ourselves to just freely move in our bodies, in our homes, the way that we see fit. Take 2 more deep breaths here, really connecting with your space. Maybe starting to connect more to your own body and your own breath. Take another full inhale when you're ready through the nose. And if it feels good, open your mouth, sigh it out, deep, out of the mouth, let it go. You can blink open the eyes, you can soften the hands down. And then when you're ready, make your way to tabletop pose. So we're just gonna crawl forward onto all fours. And you'll find a nice long spine to start. You can separate your fingers as wide as they'll go so that you really feel that connection to your mat. And then as you feel ready, you're gonna take your right leg back behind you and just place the ball of the foot down onto the mat and then press the right heel back behind you. So getting into the hamstring, feeling into the calf, maybe even feeling that right ankle. And then as you're ready, walk your right toes over to the left. So actually take the whole leg and cross it behind and over your left foot. And then see if you can shift your hips back even more. Just finding a little twist here. If this doesn't feel good, it's just a variation, you can skip it. When you're ready, come back through center, bring your right toes back in line with your right hip. And then if you can, lift them up towards hip height. Flex through the foot, really feel that activation through your strong right lifted leg, activation through your belly so that your spine is nice and long. And then as you inhale, tiptoe your left fingers forward. Maybe keep them tented here on the mat or reach them forward in space. Drawing your left bicep up and over the left ear, flexing your right toes, deep breath in. Breath out, elbow into knee, give yourself a squeeze. 2 more times, the inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Inhale, expand. Exhale, this time, release your left hand down. Your right foot is still lifted. Now tuck your left toes, lift your left knee, and draw your hips to the sky, 3-legged downward facing dog. Keep drawing length into your right leg. Flexing through the toes, take an inhale. Bend into the right knee, stack your right hip up and open, find space in your right rib cage. Finding a scorpion dog and just breathing into it. Feeling your left leg starting to soften. On your next breath in, reach your right toes high to the sky once more, and then release them down to the mat. Shift your gaze forward when you arrive, so that your eyes are directly over your fingertips, and then bend into your knees nice and soft. Take 2 big steps towards your wrist at the top of the mat, and forward fold into the legs. Take 2 deep breaths here, just let the belly hang towards the thighs. Bend your knees as much as you need to find that connection, and then think about pressing through your feet so that you can draw your hips a little higher. So locked out legs might look fancy, but they are not necessary. Find a softness in your knees to protect your hamstrings, to protect your low spine. Take another deep breath in, and a breath out. When you're ready, start to think about sweeping your fingertips on the mat, sinking your booty down towards the mat as you lift the heart up, find chair. Draw your butt down, very nice. Lengthen through your side bodies. Spread your fingertips apart, maybe wrap your pinky fingers slightly inward. And then on your exhale, reach your hands back behind you to your low spine. Take opposite elbows or clasp your palms and roll the shoulder blades back and down. Lengthen across your heart center, deep breath in. As you press through the feet, lengthen the legs and dive forward, forward fold. If the bind is too much, just let it go. Take a deep breath in here. And as you breathe out, release your hands down the backs of the thighs. And let the fingertips fall all the way down towards the mat. Take a halfway lift, lengthen. As you exhale, bring your palms down, soften the knees, and step back to your plank pose. You can lower knees if you need, or as you're ready, rock the weight forward in your plank, take an inhale. Exhale, begin to lower slowly to the belly, release. Once you arrive on your belly, untuck your toes, plant the tops of the feet onto the mat, and then begin to peel your heart forward and up. So think about lengthening the front side of your body, cobra. Breathing in as you draw your elbows in towards your sides and lift a little higher with your chest. Take an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to bring our hips towards our heels. Press into the palms, child's pose. Take 2 full breaths here. Linger in this sensation of softening down. Take 1 more full breath here. And then rock yourself forward into your tabletop pose. Low belly is in. And we find again that strength, that groundedness in this posture. From here, we're going to take our left foot back behind us. So the ball of the foot is on the mat. And then we're going to press the left heel back behind us. Pressing into the palms, taking length and space across the back of our left leg. Breathing here. And now maybe walking the left toes so that they come up and over the right, towards the right back corner of the mat, and then just gently press your hips back. And again, if this little twist of the leg is not happening for whatever reason, ignore it, let it go. When you're ready, bring your left toes back towards, so that they're right outside of your left hip. And then walk your right fingers forward out in front of you, maybe tense them. Lift your left toes to hip height, and maybe reach the right fingers forward, find length in your spine. Draw the right bicep up and over the right ear, inhale. Exhale, squeeze elbow into knee. 2 more, inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Inhale, expand. And exhale, release the right hand. Tuck the right toes. Press into the ball of the right foot as you draw your left leg high. 3-legged dog. Left heel is pressing up and back. Deep breath in. Breath out, bend into the left knee. Draw the left hip over the right. Find scorpion dog. Take another full breath into your left rib cage here. As you breathe out, releasing the left leg long, and then lowering it all the way down to the mat, find downward facing. Take an inhale to gaze forward between the palms, soften both of your knees, and take 2 big steps to the top of the mat, fold. Once again, feel that rootedness in all 4 corners of the feet, soften the knees, bring the belly down, and dangle over the legs. Find your breath here. Maybe let go of your head, neck, shoulders, and just allow yourself to feel gravity taking over. Feel the backs of your legs lengthening as you continue to lift your hips a little higher. When you're ready, we're going to sweep our fingertips on the mat, and we're going to find chair pose, Utkatasana. We're drawing the seat down and lifting and lengthening up. Drawing the side bodies a little longer. Scooping the low belly in so that you have this nice little tilt of the pelvis and feeling that activation through your side rib cage. And then draw your pinky fingers inwards. Deep breath in. Breath out, hands come down to low spine. Opposite elbows where fingertips clasp. Roll the heart open, breath in. Breath out, press through the legs, dive forward, forward fold, soften, release. Take a deep inhale breath here. Stay ready, exhale. 1 more breath in, maybe reach the palms a little bit more out in front of you. And then exhale, release the hands down the backs of the thighs until they fall all the way down to the floor. Inhale, we'll find a halfway lift, lengthen the spine, hands to shins, mat or block. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, and step it back to your plank. Again, you can soften the knees down if you need, or lower all the way to the belly with knees lifted, like you're just one plane of movement coming all the way down to the mat. Bring the tops of the feet down when you arrive, and then once again, lift your heart. Lengthen the space between the shoulders. Feel that extension through the front side of your body. See if you can expand. See if you can feel your legs activating. Maybe the heels draw a little closer together. Take 1 more breath in. Forehead to the floor as we breathe out. Hips to heels, child's pose. Rock back, find your breath. Allow your hips to settle back as you lengthen out through your side bodies. Feel your forehead softening. Take a full breath in here. And a full breath out here. We're going to make our way into tabletop pose. And this time, Find that length. Tuck both toes onto the mat, so both feet, toes tucked. Lift your knees 2 inches. Hold here for a breath in. On the breath out, press your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. And then take a moment to just pedal out. Spend some time just getting familiar with what's tight, what's feeling extra good in the body. Maybe peel all 10 toes off the mat for a moment, and then rock forward on all 10 toes and lift the heels. Maybe roll out the ankles. Maybe lower the heels or get them closer to the mat and lift the toes. And you can continue sort of moving with the feet and the ankles. Or if you'd like to bend one and then the other knee, you can even find a little speed in the legs. Finding more depth and space in your hamstrings. 2 more inhales, whatever you've chosen, however you are moving. 2 more exhales. Take another full breath in. And then meet me in stillness when you're ready. Take another inhale in your dog. Stay for the exhale. On an inhale breath, take your right leg high to the sky, 3-legged. Bend it to the knee, stack the hip, roll the right ribs open. Find that space. On an inhale, re-extend your right leg high to the sky, 3-legged, and then hug your right knee in towards your nose, squeeze. Step the right foot between your hands, and then from here, gaze forward in front of your right toes, and shift your weight into the right foot, supported warrior 3. So maybe your fingertips crawl a couple inches forward, and you keep your gaze nice and soft. You can stay here, start to reach hands through heart. They can float back behind you, or even forward if you're feeling feisty and fired up. Taking 2 more breaths, supported or full warrior 3, 1 more breath. Bend into the right knee. Step the left toes back, high crescent pose. Settle into the hips. Allow your left hip to draw forward and that right hip to just gently press back. Find a little space as you soften your shoulders and feel that grounding of the legs and that expansion of your upper body. Take a deep breath here, and then bring your palms together, and then from here, release your pointer finger towards the sky. So finding Kali Mudra mind, feeling that connection of the palms, that length of the arms, that activation of the biceps and triceps. Take another deep breath wherever you are here. Release the palms, take the arms up high, and then place the palms down onto the mat. Squeeze your right knee in towards your belly, hold 3. That's it, hold 2. Shift it back, high plank, beautiful. From here, shift your weight forward. Lower halfway or all the way to the belly. Chaturanga, if you'd like. Cobra or upward facing dog this time. And exhale, downward facing, draw your hips towards the sky. Take 2 full breaths when you arrive. Create some softness in the body. Take 1 more full breath here. And full exhale. Take your left leg high to the sky. And then when you're ready, bend the knee, stack the hip, roll the left rib cage open. Find space here. Breathe into it. On your inhale, take your left leg high, and then squeeze your knee in towards your nose. Lightly step the left foot through. Gaze forward out in front of your left toes. Walk your fingers forward, and shift the weight so that your right toes lift. You can stay with hands on mat or blocks, or reach them through heart, back behind you, or even forward if you have that space today. Flex through your right heel so you can root that, or draw, that right hip down in line with the left. Take 1 more full breath in. Full breath out, bend the left knee, step the right toes to the back of the mat, high crescent. Drop into the hips. Feel that strong left leg, and then that really active right leg, pressing the right thigh back so that the heel draws back. Stay here or take your palms together. Maybe bring your index fingers to point towards the sky, finding Kali Mudra or Charlie's angel hands. Breathing here. Seeing if you can feel that grounding and at the same time that expanding. Take another breath in. Release the bind if you have it overhead. Hands down to the mat. Squeeze left knee in towards your belly. Hold it here for 3. Squeeze it up and in 2. High plank pose. Again, your choice, lower the knees or come all the way down to the belly or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Draw your hips towards the sky. Soften out the breath. Feel the heat beginning to build in the body. And notice that connection. The breath, the body, the mind. Wherever your energy is going, wherever your breath is going, the body and mind are sure to follow. Take a deep breath here. Empty it out if you'd like through the mouth, let it go. On an inhale, take a gaze forward between your palms. Soften your knees and either hop, step, or float towards the front of the mat. Forward fold, release into the legs. On your inhale, find your hands to shins, blocks, or mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms up and overhead. Urdhva root to rise tall. Stand up, lengthen. Exhale, hands through your heart. Drop your hands down by your sides, and then inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the palms. Step it back, high plank pose. Make your way through your vinyasa, lowering through tabletop, or maybe coming all the way to the belly, or taking that chaturanga push-up to upward facing. Wherever you're going, we meet in downward facing dog. Take a full breath when you arrive. If you are going slower or faster than me, and you know your sun cells, you can take them. We're doing 2 more rounds. When you're ready, gaze forward. Soften your knees. Hop, step, float to the top of the mat. We fold. Rise up, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Urdhva, sweep the arms up and overhead. Find space and length. Exhale, hands through your heart. Inhale, draw the arms down and all the way up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find length and space. Vinyasa of choice. Move your way through your flow. You can find a vinyasa or skip it. You can modify it, you can amplify it. We find downward facing. When you arrive, take a full breath in and a breath out. Gaze forward on the inhale, soften the knees. Hop, step, float the feet, top of the mat. Inhale, find that halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Rise to stand, Urdhva, root through the feet. Lift up, lengthen out. Hands through heart, exhale. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hinging from the hips, fold. Last sun salve here, lift up halfway. Vinyasa of your choosing, or meet us in downward facing. Again, modify, subtract, amplify, however you need. We'll meet in downward facing dog with our hips high to the sky. Breathing here, softening out. 2 more breaths. Centering. Finding our way back home in our bodies. Finding acceptance for wherever we are in this practice, in this moment, on this day. On an inhale, take your right leg high to the sky. As you exhale, bend your knees, stack your hip, roll the right side body open. Deep breath in. Breath out, level off the hip, re-extend the right leg. Bring your knee in towards your chest, give it a squeeze, and lightly step it through. Supported or unsupported warrior 3, left foot will lift. Hands can float through heart, back behind us, forward, or stay on mat or blocks. Take another inhale so you can activate through that lifted left leg. And as you exhale, bend your right knee, step the left toes back, high crescent. Choice to stay here or Kali Mudra, bind the hands, index fingers releasing. Lengthen out through the front side of the body here. Take another inhale, hands down to the mat as you exhale. Squeeze the right knee in, holding 3, holding 2, plank pose, step it back. Vinyasa of choice will meet in downward facing. Take what you need, move with your breath, and find somewhere where you feel balanced, where you feel good in the body, and challenged in a nourishing way. On an inhale, Right leg, same leg, lifted high to the sky. As you exhale, right knee, left tricep, underneath and across the body. Stay here, or take your right knee to your left wrist and pull it back up. 2 more times, knee to wrist, pull it back up. 1 more, knee to wrist, pull it up, stay here, or extend your right leg to the left and lift your left fingers to the sky. Fallen triangle or fallen star, holding for another deep breath in. Release your left hand down, breath out. Squeeze your knee in towards your nose and lightly step the foot through. When you feel stable, high crescent lunge, lift up, lengthen out. This time, spin the back heel down parallel to the back edge of the mat, warrior 2. Bend into your right knee. See if you can feel that distance between your right and left hip and feel that openness across your heart space. And then inhale, take your right fingers forward. Flip your right palm. Take your left fingers down the back of the left thigh as you reach your right fingers up and overhead. Take a big breath here. And then press through the ball of your right foot to extend the right leg. Make it long. Reversing triangle. From here, begin to reach your right fingers forward out in front of you. So legs are long, and we're finding that space between right and left hip. Now, option. Take hand down the thigh, shin, mat, or block for extended or full triangle, or start to float your left fingers over your left ear. Maybe right fingers float underneath right ear, floating triangle. We hold for 3. Wherever you are for 2, 1, release into your triangle, hold for the breath, and then gaze down at your right foot. Now you can stay here if you'd like, or begin to soften your right knee. Walk your right fingers forward out in front of your right foot and gently begin to lift your left leg, half moon Ardha Chandrasana. Find a variation that suits you. Feel as though you're a pancake between 2 sheets of glass. Taking 3 here. Holding, finding space here. 1 more breath. We're going to square our left hip and our left hand down, finding supported warrior 3. And then dive your nose below the right knee as you lift your left heel high, standing split. You can stay here if you'd like. Or maybe explore a bind, right hand comes behind the right calf. Maybe left hand follows. If you would like handstand pickups, about 3 breaths. You can take the palms onto the mat, soften your right knee, and keep lifting your left heel to the sky and maybe finding little kicks. Take another breath wherever you are. We'll meet in standing split. Right foot is your base, left foot is lifting high. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, step the left toes back, bend into the right knee, find your high crescent pose. Okay, from here, take a deep breath in, and then swing your right arm back, left arm forward, open arm twist. Feel that expansion across your chest. See if you can feel still that core activation here. Now options, you can stay here, or you can come into this hovering revolved crescent. So right arm will reach up over right ear. We're gonna hinge from the hips, and left arm reaches forward. If you get here and you're like, I'm gonna fall, you can always bring elbow outside of thigh. Holding for 3, holding for 2. From wherever you are, take your left hand inside of your right leg, reach your right fingers high. Easy twist. Beautiful. Now, come onto the pinky side edge of your left foot and spin your right toes to face forward. Very nice. Stay here, or swing your right leg up and over the left, Vashisthasana side plank. Take a deep breath. If you're staying where you are, stay. If you would like, begin to lower your right forearm to the mat. Come onto the pinky side edge of the right foot and lift your left fingers. We're going to repeat that. This time, left palm comes down. So we're in a regular side plank, right fingers lift. Back to right forearm. Lift left fingers high. Maybe you wobble and fall out. Take it again. Right high, right down. Left high, oops, I fell out. Left down. Side plank when you're ready. So you can be in this modified variation or not. Take an inhale. And then we're gonna reach the right hand back down to the mat. Take the right toes back to your plank. Lift the right foot off of the mat, squeeze the knee in, and step the foot through. Setting up for pyramid, I always need to bump my back foot in to make space, and then I have to actively draw my left hip forward in line with the right. Then once I have that, I'm pressing through my right foot, and I'm just simply drawing my hips back and up behind me. Now, to find more length here, my hamstrings are very tight, so I often have to take a nice, deep, healthy, big inhale breath, halfway lift, and then exhale, hinging from my hips, I fold a little deeper. Now you can tense your fingers, you can place blocks underneath, you can grab onto the shin, wherever you need to go to make this feel sustainable, to make it feel good in your body. There's no judgment. We're all going to be in a different place here. Our hamstrings get contracted and they get worked. We love them too hard sometimes. So let's just be here in them for a moment and give them grace and compassion. Give ourselves the same grace and compassion. When you are ready, find a little halfway lift, lengthen. And then if you can, bring your left hand either on top of your right shin or bring it outside of your pinky side edge of your right foot. So that may be a block underneath, or maybe the fingertips are on the mat. From here, take your right hand and place it on the hip or your sacrum, so your low spine, and you can stay. Or maybe you start to explore reaching your right arm up and overhead. Woo, breathe in. Finding space. Stay with it. Take another breath here. And then melt both hands back down to frame your right foot. Start to bend into the right knee and draw your left foot to the sky. We're back in our standing split, but just for a couple breaths. See if you can lift your left heel a little bit higher. Take a deep breath in. And then bend into your right knee. Start to draw your left knee all the way up and towards your chest, standing high knee raise. I'm going to spin around. Just so we can see. Okay, from here, options. Take your left hand, place it on the inside of your left knee, and just draw the knee open, keeping the hips nice and square and the shoulders nice and square. If you're feeling pretty open, you can grab peace fingers around the left big toes, and then maybe extend the left leg forward, and then draw it open laterally in space. Maybe the right arm follows or not. You can do what you need. Holding wherever you are for another 3. Another 2. We're going to bring the left knee back in through center. I need to bend the knee to draw it in. Maybe some of you keep the length. Reach the arms up, inhale. Set the foot down, 2 knees, bend, chair pose, sink the booty. Take a big breath in here. Sink a little deeper breath out. This time your right knee, so the opposite knee that was just lifted, draw it in towards your belly. Right knee, beautiful. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Bend into the left knee and sink low, standing figure 4. Now, this might be enough. Stay. If you're already like, woo, balance, chill here. If you need a little more, hinging from your hips, your spine is long, and you're coming forward, belly over the right thigh. Maybe you take your hands down towards the mat. If you have Galavasana, flying pigeon, and you would like to explore it, you are totally welcome to do that. Take the next 3 rounds of breath to explore this posture. Can you believe we've only been on the right leg? Take 1 more big breath. And then as you're ready, reaching your right knee back into your chest, inhale. Set the foot down, chair pose, exhale. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, forward fold. Option here, vinyasa of your choice, or if you would like, from your halfway lift, bend your knees, plant your palms, bring your knees as close into the armpits as they'll go, and then shift forward onto the balls of the feet. Maybe the toes stay grounded. Maybe you begin to lift one set of toes towards your bum, and then the other set of toes towards your bum. Maybe you find crow pose in some way, shape, or form, exploring lifting, getting lifted, whatever that means. Holding for another couple breaths if you would like. You can step, hop, float your way back. Vinyasa of choice when you are ready. Okay. When you feel sufficient, find your way to downward facing dog and allow your breath to soften back out. See if you can find those deep inhales and exhales that we found from that comfortable seat in the beginning of class. Reconnect to the rhythm in the body. So that rhythm of the breath drawing in, that rhythm of the body as the breath draws out. Make that space. Take that space. And then use it to move through your practice. On your next inhale, lift left leg to the sky. Take it nice and high. Bend into the knees, stack the hip, roll the left side body, open, breath in. Level off the hip, extend the left heel on the breath out. Squeeze knee into your nose, hold, exhale. Step it lightly through. Walk the fingers forward, supported or unsupported warrior three. Hands to mat, blocks, or heart. Float them back or reach them forward. Take another full deep breath here. Lower the right toes, bend the left knee, high crescent pose. Stay here or Kali Mudra bind. Taking the palms together, index fingers lifting high. Shift the right hip more in line with the left. Take a deep breath here. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Squeeze the left knee in towards the belly. Hold 3, 2, 1. Shift it back, plank. Vinyasa of choice. Or meet us in downward facing dog. Doing what feels right in your body in this moment. Eventually drawing our hips towards the sky. Finding our breath. Finding our stillness. On an inhale, left foot, same leg, lifts high. Left knee underneath and across to the right tricep. You can stay or take those little elevators, lowering left knee to right wrist and squeezing it back up. 2 more and squeeze. 1 more and squeeze. Stay here or kick your left foot to the right, reaching right fingers to the sky. Fall in triangle, fall in star. Breathing in, breathing out. 1 more breath in. Right hand lowers. Left knee squeezes back in towards the chest. And we lightly step the foot through. When you feel steady in the legs, rise up, high crescent pose. And then inhale here. Open up, easy twist. Left fingers draw back, right arm draws forward. Find your breath here. Stay with me. Oh, just kidding. Come back to our high crescent. Spin your right heel down. I skip the whole middle. And sink into your warrior 2. All right, keep me honest. Keep that distance between left and right hip. Soften the shoulders and spread the fingers nice and wide. Drop down a little bit lower. And then reach your left fingers forward, flip your palm. Reverse the warrior, take it up and down. Lengthen across your left rib cage. Take another inhale here. And then press into the ball of the left foot to lengthen out your left leg. Take a deep breath in your reverse triangle. And then as you're ready, regular or floating triangle, your choice. You can take hand down to shin, mat, or block if you have that room. Or both arms can hover like holding a beach ball overhead. Keep spinning that right heart space open. We're here for 3. We're here for 2. 1, you can stay, find triangle, or soften into the left knee. Scooch the left fingers out in front of your left toes and launch your right leg back and up. So finding our half moon Ardha Chandrasana. Opening ourselves up like we're a pancake. Breathing here, expanding into it. Stay balanced if you can. Don't judge if you can't. 1 more inhale. Release the right hand down, square the shoulders, square the hips, supported warrior 3. And then reaching the right toes high as you melt the heart below your left thigh. Find your standing split. Lots of options. You can take that bind behind your left ankle, maybe left hand and right, or 1 hand or no hands. If you'd like, you can take handstand kick-ups. If you want to bend that left knee, then draw your right heel a little higher. Finding your depth, holding, breathing. We're here for 3, 2, 1. We'll meet with our left foot rooted, right foot to the sky, standing split. And then release back into high crescent lunge, right toe step back. Arms reach high, inhale. Exhale, a little extra open arm twist on this side. Float your left fingers back behind you, expand across your heart space. Now, breathing into this, feel your right hip drawing gently forward and see if you can keep it there. And then begin to hinge from your hips. Now again, you can stay as you are, or maybe you begin to reach your left fingers up and over your left ear like you're hugging a beach ball. If this is too much, hook your right elbow outside the left thigh, or come back to this standing open arm twist. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Soften your right hand down to the mat. Find this easy twist. Take a deep breath here, and then spin to the pinky side edge of your right foot and point your left toes forward. Stay here or take your left leg up and over the right. Finding Vashisthasana side plank, inhale. Left forearm down, right fingers to the sky, spin to the left pinky side edge. All right, 3 more times. Right palm, left fingers lift. Left forearm, right fingers lift. And if it gets confusing, no worries. Right palm, fingers lift. When you're ready, we hold our side plank. Take an inhale, and then releasing your left hand down, finding your plank. This time, lift your left toes off of the mat. Bring your knee in towards your chest, and lightly step the left foot through. Once again, set up into your runner's lunge by drawing your right hip forward, and then maybe bringing your right toes in a couple inches to give yourself more space. Now, press into the ball of the left foot as you begin to draw the hips up and back, finding length into your left hamstring and calf, but also activation into the quads of both legs. Feeling that engagement. Now, if you need a little more space here, tent the fingers, grab blocks or books under the hands. I encourage you to take a nice big breath into the belly and find a halfway lift. Mine doesn't look very much different from my fold on this side, so it's whatever. And then exhale, see if you can melt down a little bit deeper. And just breathe. Try not to judge where you are, but rather accept it, listen to it, learn from it. Give yourself the same compassion that you would give to someone else in this community. Coming back to that feeling of connectedness. Connectedness meaning we're able to ground down and be aware. We're able to bring that awareness back out into the world, expanding our awareness, opening up our hearts. When you're ready, find a little halfway lift. And then, if you'd like, take this right hand to your left shin, maybe, or just outside the pinky side edge of the foot. You can take left hand to your left hip or sacrum. If you still have space, keep rotating your left heart space open and then maybe reaching your left fingers high. Woo. Breathing in, revolve pyramid, 2 more breaths. Take another breath here. Release both hands down. Soften into your left knee, walk your fingers forward. Standing split on the left leg, right foot reaches high. Just for a breath in, we're gonna find standing high knee raise as we breathe out. Bring the right knee in towards the belly, maybe fall out as you come in. Find your breath here. And then once again, option to take left hand to hip, maybe right hand to inner thigh, and just draw your knee out laterally. This is a beautiful place to be. If you feel like you have more space, take the right peace fingers around your right big toes, take your leg out long in front of you, and then open up, extending, maybe left arm follows. Whew, we're breathing. Hopefully, we're staying with it. We're here for 3, 2, 1. You can rebend into the knee or drag it back long. Inhale, chair pose, sink both hips down, bend into the knees, drop the feet to the floor. On an inhale, it's left knee into your chest, so opposite leg. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Sink low into your right leg, hands through heart. Stay here, or when and if you feel ready, you can hinge from your hips, bowing your body forward, finding space. Maybe the hands touch down. Maybe you're ready to bind your left toes around your right forearm. Walk your hands forward, hug your low belly in, and then just like crow pose, you're picking your right heel up towards your seat, and then maybe you begin to extend it back behind you, Balavasana, flying pigeon. Wherever you are, 3 more breaths. Enjoying this hip stretch, 2 more breaths. If you folded or you're flying, when you're ready, gently come up slowly. Draw the left knee back in for a moment, and then set both feet down to meet chair pose Utkatasana. Deep breath in, forward fold as you breathe out. Take an inhale, find your halfway lift. Once again, your choice. You can find a vinyasa or crow pose if you would like. If you're taking crow, just place your hands out in front of you, bend into your knees and bring them up on the arms. So like somewhere closer to the armpits on your triceps. Then think about basketball, like underneath both hands, a basketball underneath both hands. Palm it, like you're palming the basketball. And then scoot your weight forward, keep your eyes forward, and then hug your low belly in, and maybe get onto the tippy toes. Maybe try drawing one heel in towards the bum. Maybe draw both heels in towards the bum. Maybe see if you can extend the arms. We're holding, we're breathing. We're here for another 3, 2, 1. Hop, step, float your way to downward facing. And we find our way. Breathing in and out through the nose. Take 3 nourishing breaths here. See if you can fill the body. And then empty that air out. Each round of breath creating space for more air, different air. And just noticing what that feels like. Making space. And accepting things that are different and new. Take 1 more big breath here. Empty it all out. On your next inhale, take your right toes high. And then bend the knees, stack the hip, draw the right rib cage open, breathe in. As you breathe out, level off the hip, inhale, extend the right leg. And then go ahead and bring your shin forward. So we're gonna take the right knee towards the right wrist, right toes towards the left wrist for half pigeon. If half pigeon is not comfortable for you, for whatever reason, you can take it on your back. Still just come down onto your back and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And then see if you can lengthen your spine, so draw the sacrum down, and then continue to press the knees in. You can grab around the thighs through the window to the hamstring or the shin. Okay, if you're in your half pigeon, your seated pigeon, see if you can lengthen up through your spine first. Maybe even draw that left hip forward in line with the right. That might mean you sit up a little bit higher off your mat than you feel like you want to. No ego. Let's just find the sensation and the feeling in this posture. And then breathe in. And then if and when you'd like, you can hinge over that right side, crawling the fingers forward, letting the heart come down and melt. See if you can soften your jaw. Soften the space between the eyebrows. We have about 6 more breaths here. So just embrace whatever sensations are coming up. See if you can feel the breath in the body. Finding that rhythm again of inhale and exhale. Noticing each time what the body is doing. Are we able to find a little less tension in this posture? Maybe just some more acceptance over where we are. Maybe we find energy into that right outer hip, glute, IT band. Take 2 more breaths. Take 1 more full inhale. And giant full exhale, let it go. Begin to walk your hands back in towards your hips. If you're on your back, you can stay. We're gonna come into a twist, so you can take a supine twist. If you're in your seat, come onto your right hip and just swing your left leg up and over, okay? So left leg comes up and over. And then once you have that, ground back down through your left sits bone. So if it likes to just kind of draw up, let it back down. And then bring your belly in towards your left thigh if you're in your seat. And then I like to take my left hand back just slightly diagonal from my left hip and then reach my right arm high. And then I love to just take my elbow outside of my left shin and see if I can keep my spine long, the crown of my head growing towards the ceiling as I begin to find a little twist. And then if I feel like I can keep my left sits bone down and I can keep my spine long, maybe then I take the elbow and I hook it outside. But not rounding just to get the elbow to hook. So not looking more like this like rounded shape, lifted shape. And for now I have to keep my hand around the shin and just gaze softly out over the left shoulder. Take the variation that feels right in your own mind. Softening in. Take 2 more breaths here. Take another big breath in here. And then bring yourself through center. Okay. Uncross your legs. If you are in a supine position, go ahead and sit up for a moment. We're going to take a forward fold. My suggestion is to take your legs and bring them out wide. So we're going to take a nice straddle variation. If you hate it, you don't want it for whatever reason, you can keep your legs forward, okay? No big deal. But I'm going to try and work into my inner groin a little bit and get into those hamstrings and all those like pesky places that we don't get enough stretch into. Take the toes and just think about energetically flexing them towards the face. And then take your fingertips and point them in towards your seat and just bring them back behind you. And then see if you can roll your shoulder blades, like concave them together, and then actively lift them back up and draw your shoulder heads in together, concave, and the blades come back together as you lift and lengthen. I was like, that sounds backwards. Draw the crown of the head a little bit higher, inhale. And then stay here or begin to walk your fingers out in front of you with a nice flat spine. You can start to lower, whether to your forearms, maybe to blocks or books, or not at all. It's gonna depend on where your hips, your hamstrings, your groin are feeling. Just embrace it. Let it be whatever it needs to be. 3 more breaths. Two more big breaths. Full inhale through the nose. As you exhale, if you're folded, begin to walk your hands back in, and then just bring the feet together on your own time. We're gonna make our way to downward facing. If you'd like a vinyasa, you can just simply shift your legs back to a plank and move your way through a flow. If you're over it, skip it, meet us in downward facing dog. Again, paying attention to the things your body needs. Take another breath or so to arrive in your dog. And then when you do, take your left leg high to the sky. Bend into the knee, stack the hip, roll the left side body open. Deep breath here. Level off the hip, re-extend the leg. Half pigeon or supine pigeon, left shin comes forward. Once again, if you're on your back, left ankle over right thigh. If you're on your back, press your sacrum down towards the mat and reach across the thighs or through the window. And then see if you can shift that right hip gently forward, lengthen through the sides of the body as my seated pigeons, and see if you can draw yourself up. So find activation. So you're getting this nice stretch through your right hip flexor, as well as your outer left hip and glute. Once you have that and you've created as much space as you can on this left side, you can begin to explore a hinge forward, maybe walking the fingertips. And we're here again for just about 6 breaths. So it's just enough time, probably, to start to feel some things, to maybe even get a little uncomfortable in this shape, uncomfortable in the sense of we can sustain it, but our mind starts to tell us to get out. Because maybe we're feeling some release in the body, or we're noticing that extra tension wherever it might be. If it feels like strain in the sense that it hurts or there's pain, let it go. We're We're just looking for sensation, for feeling, and breathing into those. Allowing ourselves to be in this posture in whatever shape that is for our bodies right now. See if you can soften the face. See if you can soften the breath. Take 2 more full inhales wherever you are. One more full breath in. And then on your back, stay on your back. So if you're in a seated pigeon, start to walk your hands in towards your hips. And once again, we're just going to let our left hip come down to the mat and then swing the right leg up and over. Okay, so here we are, our little pretzels, or we're taking a twist and time variation. Take this right cheek and just lower it back down to the mat. Okay, so no ego involved in our twist or eagles. Take your right hand back behind your right hip, and then start to gently inhale, lift your left arm to the sky. And then once again, you don't have to do this if you don't want, but see if you can lengthen through the crown of the head all the way to the sky. So get your spine long, maybe the belly gets closer to the left thigh or the right thigh. And then bring your left arm around your right shin and start to gaze up over the right shoulder. If you can keep your spine long, then maybe go for that elbow hook. But try not to round into this shape. See if you can ground down and at the same time expand. Finding that connection. Two more full breaths here. Last big breath in. This time, if you're on your back, please stay there. We'll come back through center. We'll unwind our legs. Bring the soles of the feet onto the mat in front of you. Reach your fingertips forward. And then if you are in that seated position, just gently begin to lower all the way down onto your back. You can make it as challenging or as easy as you need it to be. And then when you arrive on your back, squeeze your knees in towards your chest. And then either take your hands to shins or wrap for opposite elbows. And then the challenge here is to see if you can draw your sacrum down and see if you can draw your shoulders down as you draw the knees in towards the chest. So you're making this compact shape, but at the same time, you're lengthening your spine. You're releasing some tension in your hip flexors. If you are in HIIT, you're welcome. You're releasing some tension in the spine, maybe the low back. Take another deep breath in here, just settling that back into our bodies. And a deep breath out. On your next inhale, go ahead and reach your fingertips to the sky, so just above your shoulders, and at the same time unfurl your legs towards, or your heels towards the sky, so the legs are long. Finding a dead bug pose, legs up the wall with your arms reaching up as well. And then you can stay here, or close your eyes, or just keep your gaze on the ceiling, don't look around, and take a big inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, shake all your limbs in space, get as crazy and as big as you can. Shake out everything, release something. Let go of the tension or the things that are holding you back from making these big giant movements or making you feel really silly. Just let it go. No more judgment. Release it all. Arms and legs lift up. And as you inhale, draw everything out wide onto the mat. If Shavasana, laying on your back, is not comfortable for you, or you just don't want to be there, you can find your way to a comfortable seat. You can lay on your side. Find somewhere that feels right in your body. If you are on your back, and this is where you'd like to be, keep your gaze soft or close the eyes completely. Relax your shoulders down. Just see if you can find a little more space for yourself. Come back to that feeling of coming home, of connectedness to ourselves, so that we can better connect with those around us, so that we can be active in the communities that we frequent. And by active, meaning we can lift one another up, we can listen, empathize, find compassion, laughter, and camaraderie. Because that's what this is all about. This practice, Camp Flex and Flow, this time we have navigating connections through screens, and maybe as you soften more onto your back, visualize yourself laying somewhere in a slightly sticky but warm, lovely heat in Roanoke. Imagining ourselves around the campfire, sharing s'mores. Imagine those places and those spaces maybe coming together this week on the screen. We can create those same memories, those same lasting friendships and connections. Whether it's s'mores around the campfire or in your own backyard, whether it's yoga in your living room or out on the grass. And then when you're ready, if and when you're ready, go ahead and bend into the knees and just allow them to soften over to one side. Rest wherever you need to rest. If you're staying on your back, that is always an option. If you're ready to make moves, you can roll up towards a comfortable seat, maybe placing the palms on the thighs or taking your hands through heart center. Finding somewhere where you're comfortable, where you can ease in. And then sealing in thanks for yourself for showing up on your mat, coming back to your center. And then bringing our hands to our third eye, sending out gratitude to all of those who showed up for the summer camp, whether live in today's class or taking the recordings on their own time. We're doing this together. Shower your community with love. Maybe send them a postcard. Remind them what connection is all about, because you never know who needs it right now. I think we all really need it right now. Take a big breath in when you're ready. Empty it all out through the mouth, let it go. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.